So we are reading from 5.19. Ihaiva tairjitas sargo yesham samye stitham manaha nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmat brahmani te sthitaha. Ihaiva taihi. So people who are those sadhus who are vidya vinaya sampanni, who see everyone equally, who are panditaha, they are taken shelter of the Lord. They've been washed of all impurities, and in whose heart this knowledge is shining like the sun, dissipating all darkness. So it's not that they have to go from here, from this material world, and then go back to some place and then become happy. Ihaiva taihi jitas sargaha. They have conquered birth and death. Where? Iha eva taihi. They have conquered. Where? Not para. There are always two things, iha and para. Iha means in this birth, para means the next birth. Iha para. So iha eva taihi jitas sarga. Yesham samye stitham manaha. So whose mind is equipoised? Yesham, in whose samye stitham manaha. The mind is not agitated. Samye stitham manaha. Nirdosham hi. They have become without any faults. Samam Brahma Tasmat Brahmani Te Sitaha. They are faultless like Brahman. Why? Because they're situated in Brahman. So this is what the shloka says. So Prabhupada is writing the purport that equanimity of mind is the sign of self-realization. So as long as one identifies with his body, he is considered a conditioned soul. But as soon as he is elevated to the stage of equanimity through realization of self, he is liberated from conditioned life. In other words, he is no longer subject to take birth in this material world, but can enter into the spiritual sky after his death. The Lord is flawless because he's without attraction or hatred. Similarly, when a living entity is without attraction or hatred, he also becomes flawless and eligible to enter into the spiritual sky. Such persons are to be considered already liberated, and their symptoms are described below. So, very interesting to emphasize on the quality of samyam. Krishna also mentions elsewhere. Krishna says, samatvam yoga ucyate. Samatvam. What is yoga? There are many examples. There are many definitions of yoga that Krishna gives in various places. And one of the definitions that Krishna gives is samatvam yoga uchyate. So to be situated in yoga means to be equipoised. And it is very difficult for the mind, which is not very difficult, it is impossible for the mind, which is materially motivated, to be not agitated. It's not possible. Why is it not possible? Because the mind is constantly expanding, thinking, feeling, and willing, and touching matter always. And when it touches matter, it gets the qualities of matter. So the more and more the mind is agitated, like the mind has an eye, the mind has a nose, the mind has a ear, the mind has a sense of speech, and the mind has the sense of touch. All of this is present within the mind. And the external sense organs we have is a manifestation of the subtle mental faculties that is present within the mind. So just like we have a hand and the dress is made to fit this hand, there are pockets for the hands to go in, is it not? Similarly, our organs are like pockets for the mind's eyes, ears, nose, tongue to go in. So this mind, the sensations of these mind, this organs, the sense organs of these minds, we can feel those distinctly from the external sense organs when we are dreaming. When we are dreaming, sometimes we dream that I eat something. So my tongue is not eating. My tongue is not eating. Is it not? So how is it that I'm having the sensation of eating when my tongue is not eating? Because the mind has a tongue. The mind that the sensation of uh, you know uh, tasting, and the mind has a ear. The mind can hear. So all of this is happening in the dream state. And just like the mind has the jnanendriyas, which I mentioned, the mind also has the karmendriyas. They're invested within the mind. And the mind, the expression is the ultimate expression of this mind is made in the form of speech. Made in the form of speech. So I can think through so many things, I can contemplate, but when it comes in the form of speech, it manifests its complete effects, all of it, whatever we think, feel, will, everything. It's completing the cycle. And then our false identity with this world through that speech is again reinforced. And once the identity is reinforced in the buddhi, in the intelligence, it again manifests through the mind and through the senses again. So the reason I'm mentioning this flow, that the mind also has sense organs and all of that is, so a person's mind, when you say it's agitated, then we have to see what is it getting agitated by the sense of speech or by sense of hearing. Sometimes someone speaks to us very rudely, so we keep on hearing that message again and again in the mind. The mind is hearing that message again and again. Or sometimes I want to keep speaking something, I'm very agitated, chatter is going on in the chatter. Or the mind is very agitated to touch a girl or a boy, or this is the skin, the sense of skin that is agitating the mind. So in this way, there are so many faculties within the mind that agitates it. And it is getting agitated so because of the tendency to touch matter, tendency to interact with matter. So we discussed, I think, in the Bhakti Vriksha, that the senses and sense objects are meeting. So similarly, our jnanendriya and the karmendriyas, they want to touch this world. They want to interact with this world. It's called spriha, touch. So when the mind is nispriha sarva kamebhyo, Krishna mentions in another place, nispriha, right? It's freed from all touch of this outside world. So that stage is called the stage of being brahmabhuta, on the platform of realizing Brahman, on the equipoise stage, like the 0-0 axis. So Krishna mentions, after coming to this platform, one actually gets bhakti. Brahmabhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samas sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. So in this way, the mind has a fruitive tendency. Fruitive tendency means it all happens very fast, which means I perform this activity, I get this. I perform this activity, I get fame. I perform this activity, I get money. I perform this activity, I become famous. So this is something very fast. This is happening. So what you say, you can't see this is happening, right? For a person who's very agitated. So this is called fruitive tendency. That because of this fruitive tendency, the mind is constantly uh, thinking so many things, how to interact with this world and achieve its fruit. But when the mind is freed from this spriha, wanting to touch and get some fruit, which means I do this for Krishna, I don't get anything. I don't get anything back. Right? I cook something, but I don't get to taste the, I don't want to taste. Krishna will taste. Sometimes when you cook for Rath Yatra and things like that, we don't get to taste the prasadam. So I just cook for Jagannath. That's all, right? So like that, I don't want to taste anything of this. Because me personally, I have nothing to do with this. This is all Krishna's. The stage is called Naishkarmyam. And this stage of Naishkarmyam means that I don't have anything to do with this world. I'm not performing an activity to attain a certain fruit from this world. This is called Naishkarmyam. But Bhagavatam is saying, even at this stage of Naishkarmyam, api achyuta bhava varjitam, na shobhate jnanam alam niranjanam. Naishkarmyam api, even the stage of Naishkarmyam, the stage of not touching anything, api achyuta bhava varjitam. If it is free from the affinity, if it is free from, if it is devoid of affinity to Vasudeva, na shobhate, it doesn't shine through. It doesn't shine through. So Krishna in this shloka mentions that a devotee by nature, of his virtue of dependence on the Lord, by virtue of his connection with Krishna, he comes to the stage of realizing that I am pure spirit. Right? I am a servant of Krishna. I'm not a servant of this material energy. My activities are not material. So these material activities, I am going to give up. Give up means what? I don't give up the activities. Kamyanam karvanam nyasam sanyasam kaviyo vidu. I'm giving up the fruitive tendencies in all these actions. I do activities as ordained by the status and orders of life, like yatha vihitam. However, it's been ordained by the Shastra. I do. If I'm a householder, I do householder karma, brahmachari, brahmana, whatever it is. So, in this way, I carry my duties, but I offer it to Krishna. Krishna is my source of joy. Krishna is the source of my shelter. Krishna is the source of my stability. So, the more and more we invest in Krishna, understanding his nature very well, beyond all of this material world, more and more and more. Of course, when we serve Krishna, Krishna will reveal himself as the personality who is beyond this material manifestation. So, Krishna, nature is that he's beyond the known and the unknown. What does it mean? It is beyond the known and the unknown. I'll give you an example. Say, normally we think, I know something here, right? So whatever we know and whatever we don't know, there are many things we do not know, correct? So if we add all things that we know and all things we do not know, then that includes everything, correct or not? Do you agree? Whatever I know and whatever I don't know, if I include all of this, do you agree that this includes everything? If we can put it like a Venn diagram, right? Do you agree? If I add what I know and what I don't know, it should include everything, correct or not? What are your thoughts?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, but the Upanishads are saying that Krishna is beyond both of what is known and what remains unknown. And what does it mean? He is not a knowable object. He's the knower. He's the knower. He's the jnata. He's the drashta. Krishna is not the known. So the reason I'm bringing this point is, so when we know Krishna, who lies beyond the mind, who lies beyond the mind, that's why Krishna also mentions, idam shariram kaunteya kshetram ityabhidhiyate yetad yo vetitam prahu kshetragyam iti tadvidah kshetragyam api chamam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetragnyoho jnanam yattad jnanam matam mama. He's a kshetragyam api chamam vidhi. He's not the kshetra. He's not just a combination of knowns and unknowns. He's beyond all of this. So there is no way for us to know Krishna by calculating what we don't know or by inferring what we know. Not possible. Not by speculation, because he cannot be speculated, because he's not known in terms of what we already know. So when we come to this point of realizing Krishna, then the mind is not drawn towards this world to exploit or enjoy, to gain something from it. this tendency, this flow will be stopped. This mana pravaham, that is mana, this pravriti of the mind, the manas, the vrittis of the mind, which are constantly going towards this world only, constantly again and again. Then they will come back from this world, right? They will depart from this world and then they take shelter in Hare Krishna mantra. That's the point of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We divest our mind from all of this, what do you say, the varieties of the names and forms of this world, and invest it in the spiritual name of Krishna. Right? In this way, Krishna will reveal his form, qualities, pastimes, more and more and more. So in this way, we can achieve peace. We cannot achieve peace when the mind is agitated. Very important point. And the mind becomes more agitated when it contacts matter, when it talks more and more and more. So talking is one form of, one sign where we can understand the mind is very agitated. So because the mind's illusions are manifested completely when it is manifesting as speech. So if I don't like someone, and if I manifest it in the form of my speech, I end up disliking that person more than if I had not spoken about that, spoken about that dislike at all. Because the illusion is getting reinforced more and more and more as we speak. So the speech is very, very powerful. I was just thinking about it today. So this mind has got all these faculties, as well. It's all the 10 senses it has, the mind has within itself. And all these 10 senses are agitated because of wanting to interact with this world to enjoy it. So instead of doing that, right, instead of agitating ourselves with this mind and touching this world, instead we position our mind to hear the Hare Krishna mantra. So just like I said, the mind is standing, the mind is hearing. Similarly, when we are, sometimes we can be chanting externally or hearing externally with our external sense organs. So as we go further and further, the mind has to hear. Right? When the mind is hearing, then cannot be distraction. Because the mind is hearing, and the mind must chant. And when the mind is standing, there cannot be distraction. You see? So when the mind is not chanting or hearing, what should be done? One should try to surrender and beg to the Lord. Right? As we try to surrender more and more and more, the mind will hear, the mind will start chanting, and the mind will remember the Lord. The mind can hear and chant, then the mind will be able to remember the Lord, Smaranam. So this is the way to actually become nirdosh, to become free from all faults. That's what we want. We want to be free from all faults. Nirdosham hi samam brahma. So I'll stop here. Any questions or comments are welcome. Okay, thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.